We've been here before. Following the ending of a popular, or at least widely viewed, entry in the universe of face-huggers and chest-bursters, major decisions were made behind the scenes by the studio and filmmakers. As a consequence, the next movie was different, darker, and devoid of one or more of the central characters who just survived the last picture. The fact that I could be describing Alien 3 or Alien Covenant is a testament to how uninhibited by fan expectation this franchise continues to be. Indeed, Alien Covenant opened with a snarl on its face and a change in its heart. Convinced now that making a movie about a scientist out to find the origin of our creation in the stars was the cause for Prometheus controversy, as opposed to, say, some questionable writing decisions in regard to other characters, Covenant arrives with hat in hand. If Ridley Scott does put that lovably vile xenomorph in this time, and forgets all about Noomi Rapace's Elizabeth Shaw, will you please let him make his biblical passion play about robots and creation myths? It's an open question, but to get there, the movie ultimately repeated what many fans consider to be the franchise's worst sin, killing off a major character between films. And while Covenant arguably does it with a little more grace than Alien 3, it remains a curious predicament to see a major franchise attempt this in the age of sequels. When Alien 3 opened in 1992, fans of James Cameron's previous 1986 action classic were stunned to learn that two of his greatest additions, the Colonial Marine Corporal Hicks, Michael Biehn, and Wee Lass Newt, Carrie Henn, were written out of the movie off-screen. Unceremoniously killed in a coldly callous opening wherein their spaceship from the previous film crashes and burns on entry. We get to see Sigourney Weaver's Ripley mourn their deaths, ever so briefly, but really you could feel the machinations of producers and new director David Fincher wanting to do their own nihilistic thing. Hence the unthinking slaughter of Ripley's surrogate family. In general, it's a fascinating bit of franchising studio think because it would obviously never happen today, right? In an era of endless sequels and shared universes, killing off any major characters, particularly fan favorites, with all the pomp and circumstance of brushing your teeth before bed is a comically short-sighted move that risks aggravating a fan base. It remains to be seen if Alien Covenant defying this conventional wisdom will have any similar negative blowback, particularly since Prometheus is no Aliens. After a flawed movie that has as many detractors as it does devotees, there is a reason Scott and company felt compelled to rewrite their franchise's Bible and make it about David and the Xenomorph. Still, in the context of just the quality of Covenant, it makes for unsatisfying storytelling and, I would argue, robs Scott of making the best possible movie. To Alien Covenant's credit, it treats this course correction with more solemnity than Alien 3. In the 2017 movie, the missing and deceased Elizabeth Shaw is a lingering presence over all of the actions taken by Michael Fassbender's David. Even for a duplicitous robot with a god complex, the synthetic is definitely aware that he did something truly cruel. Remembering his dead human companion with the reverence of a child grieving a parent, it takes a while for him to admit that there is no body beneath the grave and flowers he designated for her. More like Oedipus than the Promethean Greek tragedy of his ship's namesake, he slaughtered his mother so he could be his own man, and God. On the flip side, however, it also opens the movie for a rather regressive cultural reading, which is odd since Scott's heroines are often presented with such feminist strength, including Shaw. In the end, the woman he depicted as having enough of a survival instinct to perform an abortion on herself, lest she be forced to carry a monster to birth by David, becomes nothing but an alien baby farm for the male and misogynistic robot. One he drugs up and uses to help give birth to his apparently numerous experiments, ever violating her compliant body. This has profoundly problematic implications. This movie's new female lead, Daniels, Catherine Waterston, is aghast to discover that David killed her and worse. And as the prequel series noticeably strains in its shift of focus from one heroine to another, it unintentionally admits that human, and female, characters matter not at all. This is really David's series now. Whoever he's tucking in, likely with bed bugs, is incidental. Fodder for his fantasies. That is a grim prospect, and the flaws in its execution are inescapable when most of its payoff is what now amounts to extraneous marketing material. If you haven't bothered to watch the Alien Covenant prologue yet, it showcases what is more likely a deleted scene from David's remembrances of first arriving on the Engineers.